blocks of 10 or 20. It would be your decision, a governance decision, but they're to be sold to repay the indebtedness that this council got itself into to build the ETA. And this land is all part of it. So, and just to refresh you that there is a resolution on the books just before the election, so you know, just as you go into Ashwood Park, there is a piece of land there, I think from memory it's 3,200 metres square. We went out for expressions of interest. We received 2 offers. We rejected the offers only on the grounds at that time, not that the offers weren't good enough, it was because governance felt that it wasn't an open and transparent enough method. That is now going to auction, I believe, in about 3 weeks' time by Harvey's, is it?
Friday or Saturday. It's Friday or this Friday or Saturday. This week.
Is it? This week. Okay, that close. And we're taking that to auction because we've worked through the process with that, and we believe that there's going to be bidders there. However, if it doesn't make what the valuers have told us it's worth, we will reserve our decision and hold off for a while. But that one's coming up too, and we just got to get that money back in the bank. That's not an integral piece of land. It's already got its zoning as industrial. It's the lead into Ashwood Park. So Resource Management Act takes care of what can or cannot be built there. But this other one we're referring to here is of major importance because it's big and it's a gateway to town. It's the Napier entrance. And you know, on the opposite side of the road there is 20 acres that is zoned for educational purposes. You'll see a building going up there at the moment. That's the Clean Energy Centre that's got $1.8 million funding from NZTE. That should be open and completed by about March. And all around it, I think we've got about 20 or 30 acres of land owned by this council designated for educational purposes such as polytechnics or more schools that are going to be necessary in the 2050 plan for those 2,000 sections going out that way. So that's already done as per resolutions and resource consents. So all this is asking you to do is allow people that are interested to prepare some offers and bring them back to us. Councillor Downer.
Thank you, Neil. Just what you said there, is there any way we can get that out to the public through the media? Just going back to what Councillor Williams said, just being proactive and letting them know. Like I commend you for not putting this in confidential and it's coming out like even this to go out in the media somehow, just so that the public gets to know, because I get probably asked even from locals 10 times what that building's getting built on the Napier Taupo Road, just to put them in the full picture. This is what's happening now.
That's a resolution, if you pass that today, does have a news release. Obviously the Comms Department would put out a press release that councillors going out for tenders, because we want to make as much noise about it as we can and wake up as many prospective buyers that might be out there as possible. And I just need to remind you that all the media, the Taupo Times, the Weekender and the Daily Post are all watching webcam as we speak.
No, I'm just saying also the other side of the road as well.
It needs to be promoted, yeah, definitely. Yep. Well, but that's what your Comms Department's for.
I'd like to move the suggested resolution.
Suggested resolution, which I will read because it is important. That council offers for sale by tender Lot 5 Crown Road, with tenders to close on the 13th of January 2011 and tenders to be assessed under the tender attributes referred to in the Group Manager's report of the 9th of November 2010. And those tender attributes are slightly further up the page, which are listed as A, the proposed use of land is to have a 25% weighting in the decision-making process. The resource consent specifications is to have a 25% weighting in the decision-making process, and prices to only have a 50% weighting in the process. And only repeating myself because that's...
I would leave that out of the specific resolution. But
well, that's the resolution, but the attributes it's referring to are listed there.
One thing I would recommend through the chair is that following that assessment under the tender attributes is that council officers report back to council. I would suggest that would be a prudent
add it to the resolution.
A prudent sentence to add to the resolution to give the surety that it will be brought back to councillors once we have those tenders back and assessed, and then we can bring that information back to you.
Okay, well, you're the mover, Councillor Downer. Would you agree to having that added? Yep. So could you give us the exact words to add on to there, please, Mr. Williams?
And
so it becomes comma?
So comma, and that council officers report the assessment back to council.
Okay, so that was moved by Councillor Downard as written on the page and added, comma, and that council officers report assessments back to council. So I'll ask, it's moved, I'll ask for a seconder for that. Councillor Williams, seconder. Anybody want to speak against the motion at all? Okay, I'll take that as read and I will take the vote. All those in favour, say aye. 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 Thank you. Against? Thank you very much. And that is carried. So if we could go back to... Yeah, well, you have an appointment at 4, sir, so where you go? Mr. Williams. Now, where are we? On 8, are we? No, we did that. Okay, item number 9, team, is Code of Conduct. Personally, I think you should take this as read, but I will open it up to Ms McLeod to answer any questions. If you have any questions, we have workshopped this. It's pretty basic decency type of stuff. It's pretty commonsensical if you ask me. But I will. Does anybody have any questions on?
Perhaps if I could just for webcam, so we know that what we're talking about here. This is our code of conduct. The last one was adopted in 2003. You're required as council to review it 6 months within 6 months of the triennial election, and you're also required to sign a declaration that you will abide by the code.
Is here, yeah. So on page 9 bar 13 is where you're required to sign it, not necessarily today, but in the next short while, and witnessed by the Chief Executive Officers that you, as an elected member of the Taupo District Council, hereby agree to uphold and abide by Council's Code of Conduct for members as adopted by Council on 9th of November 2010. That's the last time we reviewed it, and it's there and you should have read it. And it tells you what you can and can't do and what you must and might not do. So, is there any further questions on that? So, if there's no questions on that, you've obviously read it all and you know all about it. And there is a resolution on page, where am I here? On page 9 bar 1. So, if there's no questions, I would ask for a mover and a seconder for the suggested resolution that the Code of Conduct 2010 be adopted, that each member be required to sign the declaration on page 12 of the code. Do I have a mover? Move, Councillor Johnson. Second, Councillor Kirk. All those in favour? Aye. You are now participants of the Code of Conduct and Procedures Manual as adopted by Council on the 9th of November 2010. Thank you. Moving now to item number 10 we need to do. Which is all about an additional workshop in November. Speak to that, Mr.
Well, just simply we've got two options there. We're talking about a half-day workshop, and that basically this is to get us started in terms of the long-term council community plan matters. So it's over to council as to whether or not that's suitable.
Okay, just a couple of things there, Ms McLeod. We've moved 2 or 3 issues today. When do we propose to workshop those? Same day. Another point I've got here, the LTCCP, which is an acronym for Long-Term Council Community Plan, I believe has been changed. It's now an LTP, a long-term plan.
Still to go through as an amendment.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's happening.
It's happening, but we're reliant on government for that.
We have a formal council meeting on 23rd of November, which we're holding in Turangi. Are we workshopping the morning before the council meeting?
Yes.
We are. Okay. All right. So there's a resolution here that we have a workshop either at 9 a.m. on the 30th of November or a workshop at 1 p.m. on the 30th of November. Personally, I would go for the early one so we don't run out of time, because we have a lot of work to do. We need to get our feet under the table. We need to get an understanding of what we're doing, and the only way to do that is to discuss things in a workshop forum, especially with 7 new ones, so we can all help each other learn to get on the journey. So if you're in agreement, I would move that Council agrees to hold an extra workshop at 9 a.m. on the 30th of November. Okay, I moved it. Councillor Kirk, second. All in favour?
Aye.
Okay, thank you very much, and I don't think we've got anything else left on the agenda. So firstly, I want to thank everybody for a great meeting. Believe you me, we are starting to head into the work phase in the new year, and it's been great. And so thank you very much, and I officially closed the meeting at 3:53 p.m. Thank you very much. Oh, Councillor Dunnett?
Now the people on their new committees